Welcome to another episode of Two Ales and Hockey Tales with Wally. And this morning, I am so excited to have on a 32-year-old from Durham, England, United Kingdom. His hockey journey has taken him to England, Canada, Scotland, France, Kazakhstan, Sweden, and Wales. A staple of the British national team. In World Championships, he's had the most goals by a defenseman 3 times, most points by a defenseman 4 times, 4 times been named the tournament's best defenseman. He has won bronze, 3 silvers, and 2 golds. In the Kazakh League, 2 times most points by a D, 2-time best defenseman, and in 2013-14 was a plus 57. Collected a silver and bronze in that league, and in the EIHL with the Sheffield Steelers, 2-time Brit D of the Year, 1-time British Player of the Year, 2-time EIHL First Team All-Star, a Challenge Cup, a Playoff Championship, 2 League Championships, an NIHL Cup, but is now a Cardiff Devil and is an hour and a half late to his booked appointment in the shed. Welcome to the podcast, Ben O'Connor.
Cheers, brother. Thanks for having me. Better late than never.
So did you guys have a late night last night then?
May have just gone for a little drink. Yeah.
You know what? The teams need that early on in the season. I'd be mad at you, but I need the team to bond for the Devils to win. So navigating lieutenant.
Ching ching.
Anyways, yeah. Normally wouldn't do that in the morning, but I have the day off to go golfing, and we got to get in the pocket here, right? So we're not going to do the full episode today because we got a time crunch now. So let's talk about how we know each other. I guess first though is you are now a Cardiff Devil, where I used to play, and I used to play against you when you were a Steeler, eh?
We did. We had some good battles.
Yeah, we did. I couldn't find the picture. There's one of us right in each other's face where like we're looking to throw down, and I couldn't find the picture anymore.
Come on, man. You know me. I'm not going to throw down. I was probably trying to breathe.
I had to scare you a bit,
It's not hard.
And the other way we know each other is, I guess some of the GB boys I've had on the podcast now is Jono, Bouncy, Batchy. You play with all those boys on Great Britain, eh?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and obviously know those boys for years. Go back a long time. The GB, and I lived with Richie in Kazakhstan for a while. And
right, he played there, didn't he?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I totally forgot he played in Kazakhstan. How long did he play with you there? Was it only 1 year?
Yeah, he was there 1 year. I was on another team, and I jumped over to his team, and we lived together for quite a few months. So it was.
Was that Arlan Kokshetau?
That's the one. That's the one.
Is that the name of the town, or what's the town?
Yeah, Kokshetau. Yeah.
Kokshetau. What's that town like?
It was good, man. Like it was a small town. It was interesting. It was fun. It was good. It was a good time. I mean, I didn't want to live in the team housing, and they said, well, it was only a 1-bedroom apartment that Richie was living in. So I ended up like living on a pull-out couch because I wanted to live with him rather than at the team house. So it was, but it was good. It was a good time. We had some good laughs.
It might be different than the only Kazakhstan team I was around. Kind of forget the name, but they're in the Continental Cup. I watched them practice.
Babe.
What was it?
Babe Ottawa.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, but nobody smiled. It was very business. Like those hockey players weren't having fun at practice. Well, did you guys get to have fun in Kazakhstan?
If anyone knows me, I always have fun. But yeah, I mean, you're there 10 months a year. You go there like July 1st, and it's 2-a-days, and you don't even touch the ice for the first month. Like it's pretty hardcore. But yeah, I always have fun. Despite what the scenario is.
Well, what's Kazakh food like then?
Man, the stories. It's good. I enjoyed it.
Like what is it?
So
like goulashes or what?
Yeah, like typical Russian. Borscht, a lot of soups. minus 50 in the winter. You need to warm up. But their national dish is horse.
Horse.
Yeah, so like there was like dry cured horse every morning at breakfast, and it was just like ham. It was pretty tasty.
You
Um,
like horse, eh?
yeah, it was good, man. And then one day we're there at the rink eating, and it was like a big steak. I was like, "Geez, this is a bit funny." Like I said to the guy next to me, "What the hell is this? It tastes a bit off." He goes, "It's cow's tongue." I was like, "Ugh!" Like this. It was disgusting. It was so bad.
Oh,
But
that doesn't sound good at all.
yeah, no, it was good. It was good. It was good food.
Okay. Well, I was trying to come up with a game plan now that we're in a time crunch. I don't think we're doing the whole career today because it would take too long. You've done too much stuff. But I would say a question we got to get into though is I had Simsy on. He kind of touched on it, but how do you end up going from Sheffield to Cardiff?
um, yeah, new coach comes in. It happens all the time. I've been in Sheffield and I've had quite a few coaches, and sometimes you don't fit in their plans and etc.
And
I was offered
every coach thinks of players as a different value, right? Um,
exactly.
yeah, and then once you've worked your way up to a certain, maybe even in that league, a certain price range, or like when I read your intro, you're the best Brit D man. You and Richie every year, basically, right? Who else ever wins that?
Yeah, it depends who you speak to, but yeah, and that's exactly right. While you played, right? I mean,
Oh yeah, I priced myself out of Bietigheim when the new coach came in and said he is not worth that. We are not paying them that. Smell you later.
yeah, and again, when you own a house and you live in that city, the teams always think that they can get one up, and you know,
Hometown discount.
yeah, you're not going to leave, and um, I'm pretty stubborn, and I believe I can still be an impact, and I guess just like you said, he didn't really have that role in mind for me, and the offer that I got offered, and I didn't like it, and I didn't want to accept it, so I said no.
Yeah.
Um,
And then yeah, those are the decisions you make. So how are you liking Cardiff? How is it? How's the start been with the new team?
no, it's awful. I mean, it's a terrible city, and
You're having no fun, eh? That's why you
no, it's
sleep
awful.
in past a guy
Yeah,
waking up at 5:30 Canada time.
no, it's amazing. It's so much fun, and we've got such a good group of guys. That you know a lot of the boys here.
Not
I've
really
heard,
anymore, man.
no, I've heard the stories of Wally Knight and the players that were here. So, but no, it's a great bunch of guys. We've had a good preseason. Obviously with the CHL, and then we're unbeaten in preseason in our league. So I'm looking forward to getting going next week, and it feels like we've been going for ages. So
You guys kind of have been. So you were part of the. I talked to Batchy, but he was in like isolation or whatever when you guys beat Lausanne. So that would have been a pretty fun night. Everybody's kind of new on the team. Was it like your
yeah,
second game and you beat a Swiss A team?
yeah. We won the Stanley Cup that night. It was it's great.
I,
Um, I mean, one of the boys was saying one of their guys makes like 600 grand a year. That's our budget for the season.
I know it's
you know,
crazy.
it was. Well, I was giving Batchy shit actually because I was like, Batchy, like you need to have some emotion when you do these interviews. He was so just monotone.
Well, it was also like this time of day, right? It was the morning. I
Yeah,
think
Batchy. He's like that all the time.
I know. Yeah, well,
But no, it was awesome. It was a great night, and it goes to show like what this league's become. You were here years ago, and every year it's got better and better. And this year with the reduction
you're
in,
getting handsy down there. What are you doing with your hands down there? You're
you got
not
to think
playing.
about that, don't you?
I can hear it. You're doing something down there. You're playing with something.
I
Stop playing
tend,
with it.
don't I? So no, it's come a long way with the league. Every year it's got better and better, and with the reduction of the squad size this year, I think a lot of people had questions, and with COVID, etc. I mean,
They
we've
had a
played,
reduction in size.
yeah. So like basically, the league's gone back down to 3 lions.
Really?
Yeah, which is crazy with the COVID and
Yeah, I
everything.
would have thought with people like maybe getting test positive and being isolated, you need more players, not less.
Yeah, you and I both. But yeah, so I mean, it's good to see that this league is making the right steps, and beating a team like that. It looks good, right?
Oh yeah. I found it interesting when you play like I was in the second league in Germany, you'd play the DL teams, you'd play other
Mm.
leagues, and I always found it interesting when you play a team like that, like how big the difference is in how much money they make. And the
Crazy.
talent level really isn't um it's not even close to like the difference in pay scale, right?
We were close, Wally. Just one more step, and we would have been there.
Well, we were close to making a lot of money. We just didn't quite make a lot.
We had fun.
Yeah. But no, that we do have a lot of fun. And okay, I have some serious questions though. Because my research team was hot here,
Uh-oh.
and I think I've put together your puzzle. You ready for this?
I don't know. I'm scared.
Okay. So you know Hendo, who's living in Cardiff now, right?
Yeah.
And he's got a little bugger, right?
Yeah.
Hunter. So he is a Canadian boy that goes over to the UK, meets a gal, has a kid, and then I see you and I look on Elite Prospects and I click on your old man and it says he's born in Clinton, Ontario, Canada. Do you know that's right around the corner from me? And our sponsor, the Bayfield Brewing Company, right down the road from where your old man was born. So
Yeah.
he went over to the UK, met a gal, and you are the little Hunter that grew up and became a hockey player just like his dad.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the old man grew up in pretty much. His parents were in the military.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, he grew up in Sault Ste. Marie. That's where he spent a lot of his time growing up.
okay. I
Um,
thought maybe he grew up around here.
no, he grew up in the Sioux. Yeah, and obviously came over to the UK and played, and he met my mom, and obviously I happened, my sister happened, and yeah, one drunken night, maybe, I don't know.
Okay, so I thought I was putting together the puzzle that he grew up around here, and that's how he sends you to London to play AAA. I thought it was because he grew up around here. How do you end up in London to play
So
AAA?
that's where my uncle lives, and my aunt, and I've got two cousins there. So when I was 14, I went over just to try out. It was literally just tryouts, open tryouts, and I went over. And my uncle they were amazing people. He's not with us anymore, bless him. And they were amazing people. I mean, he always wanted a boy, and he always wanted the hockey. He was a very good hockey player, but he was very intelligent. My dad said he was better than he was, but he was just intelligence. When the coach used to say, go out and fight, he's like, no, fuck you. Like, but he had a good job. And
So you
so I
lived
went
with
over.
them that year?
Yes, I went over just for a tryout and basically AAA tryouts and, just try to make it. And I'll never forget this. I went to the dressing room and I was a typical 14-year-old British kid. I had like Nike Air Force on. I had a TN hat, like my Adidas trousers. I looked like a little chav, you know. And I walked in the dressing room and like everyone knows everyone, right? Because it's a small, like London's.
They've grown up together. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
all
they've
from
played
London.
triple A,
Yeah.
double A, all the way up, right? So I walk in and they're like, "Oh, what's your name? Who are you?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm Ben. I'm from England." And they're like, "Oh, soccer tryouts are next week, buddy. I think you're in the wrong place." And like just getting abused and like just the dressing room banter and just getting chirped and had the tryout and the kid who was chirping me, I made the team instead of him, so it's kind of
Oh, I
calming.
could see how like they'd be thrown for a loop when a guy dressed British comes into the locker
Yeah,
room in London, Ontario, and they're like, "Who is this guy?" But then you
yeah,
probably went on the ice and dominated them. That's
yeah.
actually really funny.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was a good year, man. It was lots of fun. We had a decent team. Like we played in all the silver stick tournaments, and we were, in Toronto and all the big tournaments, and it was good fun. Dowdy was like the year younger than us, so Drew Dowdy, he was playing up with us
What
quite a
and
bit.
then so Lee Salters would have been around too then back then. He was
Yeah,
with
he was
Doughty, right?
younger. Yeah, he was younger, but it was only Dowdy and Logan Couture that used to play up with us. And
Right.
back then it was like, oh, the young kids are playing up with us, and then obviously now they've had a pretty good career, right?
Oh,
So
they've done all right. Yeah, no, my thing for that AAA thing is my kid just went out for tryouts last week, and yeah, he was asked to play for the team, and I said, It's a little young yet to be driving an hour and a half to practice. We're going to play in our hometown this year. So
Yeah.
congratulations, buddy. Way to go making the team. But we're going to postpone that for a couple of years here.
Yeah, seriously.
He's only 8 at the moment.
It's crazy, isn't it? How young
Oh,
they
and they
start.
started like, yeah, not to throw the guy to the bus, but he started pressuring me, telling me like, well, he's not going to get what he needs playing in his hometown. And what kind of coaching is he going to get? I'm like, well, I think his coaching might be all right there, big guy. Or you back off.
It's true though, isn't it? I mean, I listened to your episodes, and in one of the previous ones you were talking about like the minor hockey, and I played a lot around Toronto, and you see it, right? Like families move to Toronto
It's
just so the
crazy.
kids can play. Like I know the rules have changed now, but back then it was like you had to be in that area. So like people were moving to Toronto so they could play for those big teams, right? It was absolutely wild.
Oh, it is
Wow.
wild. And like, how much debt people must go into, or they just have that much money. I don't know, because it just doesn't make sense to me. But we did it for the week to get the experience. And then after 2 tryouts, they asked him to sign and they wanted a yes or no. And I said no. And then, yeah, they tried to guilt me into coming back. I was like, no, like the answer is no.
It's crazy though, isn't it? I mean,
Well,
8 years
yeah,
old.
they try to make you feel bad. Like, well, if you don't do this, then in the spring, he's not going to make the AAA team in the spring. And I'm like, well, you know what? If he's good enough, he'd probably make the team.
See, I've got a different opinion as a British hockey player. You've got to get a trade. That's what I tell all the young British kids. Get a trade, become an electrician, a plumber, something to fall back on because you'll never
Well,
win.
and well, actually, that should get us into where, and what are you doing now, other than Cardiff? Is because as a hockey player, like you just said, you kind of you should have a backup plan. You should have an idea what you're going to do after, because if you don't, it can be a real slap in the face when you're done. But you have prepared yourself, eh?
Yeah, I mean, I've got no education. I went the OHL route, and I was there for a good time, and I thought I was going to make it, so I didn't need school, right?
And that's a lot of
Um,
OHL guys don't need school because they're going to make it. You're right.
Yeah, but no, obviously I've got 2 kids, and that starts to play on your mind. What are you going to do? And I was 3 years ago now. Paul Sample used to play in Cardiff, and he came to me and 2 other guys and said, with an idea of a financial company that's a little bit different. It's new to the market. That's just all professional athletes, so yeah, I'm into financial advising, mortgages, protection, do a lot of business protection. And I absolutely love it. I love speaking to people. I love helping people, and it's awesome. So it fits well around hockey. We finish practice at 1 o'clock every day. Meetings in the afternoon. If we've got a busy week, I can ease my week up with work, or vice versa. So it's good. I enjoy it, and it just makes that transition into life after hockey very smooth. And obviously with COVID, it came at a blessing. I worked full time for 19 months, and
It's
it was a
awesome.
blessing.
It's flexible like that, and you can
Yeah.
you can tailor it around the hockey season, and then give her when it's not hockey season, eh?
Well, the best part, Wally, is you get to take clients golfing. I've got a business meeting today on the golf course.
Oh, really? That
The
sounds
best,
fun.
the best business gets done on the golf course.
Oh, I'm going there soon. That's why we're in a time crunch. It's the Elmira Sugar Kings 50th anniversary golf tournament today, and it's 20 years since my team won it. So we should have a pretty fun day today, I think.
No pressure.
It should be okay. I'm not competitive at golf. I'm just there for a good time.
No, you're not
Okay,
playing for a jacket.
I'm not going to win anything today. I'll just have a great attitude. But one thing I want to talk about is because I thought your old man was from the Clinton area, which is around here.
Yeah.
And when I saw you pull off the most ridiculous shootout move in the world championships I have ever seen, I was writing my thesis or whatever, capstone, whatever you call it, for the NBA. I'm watching the world championships in the bar, having a pint while I write 10 million words. And I saw you pull that off, and I thought, what the hell did I just see? And if like I thought if he was from my area of the world, he would never try that shit. Because the coaches would never allow that shit around here.
you know what's funny? That's the only penalty shot I took all year. You know, like
How did you have the balls to do that? Okay, folks, this is what he did. He went in as a left-handed shot. It's like the Merrick Malik or whatever, right? Like you went
yeah,
past the goalie between the legs and shot it with your stick between your legs, top corner, right?
yeah. So I mean, like when there's a penalty shot, like I'm not saying arrogant, but like I'm a player that believes that I'll score every time. So like when like the boys make fun of me because if it comes to a shootout, like I'm always looking like I'll take it. Like I want to take it. I want to be that guy, right? A lot of guys do, some guys don't, but I believe I'll score. But I never took a penalty shot all year. It was when I was in Kazakhstan. I used to come down and go backwards straight at the goalie and do like between the legs and try and go low blocker. And it was one of the goalies that said, "Hey, why don't you try?"
You went in backwards?
I used to like just go straight at the goalie. And
Backwards.
yeah, backwards, and then just go between my legs. And then one of the goalies in Kazakhstan said, "Hey, like it'd be better if you like go out wide and you hold the puck out because they've got to respect like the puck, and then you can pull it really quick and go that way." And I do it in practice, and it works a lot. And so I was just like, do you know what? Fuck it. Like it was. I know it's the World Championships, and it was like a massive game, but how many times you see a guy go down on a penalty shot or a breakaway and they try and deke and they don't even get a shot off, or they just put it in
or the safe play is just try to shoot 5-hole, right? Because you can't miss the net. Just shoot 5-hole.
Yeah, exactly.
It so might go in.
My view is like if I hit the net, then fuck, it's just the same as that, right? So
yeah,
I thought do something different that he's never seen that before. Like he's never.
That's for fucking sure.
And you know, luckily it was either hero or zero, and it went in. But you know the best. You know the best part like that made my like I thought it was pretty cool was when I was in Sweden in Leksand. Forsberg was Philip Forsberg, who plays in Nashville. He was practicing with us. He's from Leksand. And he goes, "Oh, you're Ben, right? You're the guy who did the penalty shot." And I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Man, I've been practicing that." And he was like asking me like how to do it and like what route you take and you know X, Y, Z. I said, "Listen, man," and he was a really nice guy. And I was like, "Listen, if you do that in the NHL, like you've got to give me credit, give me a shout out for it." But it was pretty cool. Like
that is, it's funny. Like to me, it kind of shows like how the game's changed. That you're allowed to have fun like that and try different things, and like people applaud it nowadays. Then back when like I first went up to the coast, I wasn't even allowed to pull it between my legs. Like I used to always come down the left side, and then when the D-man went to poke check it, I would hang it out in front of them, wait for them to poke check it, and then pull it between my legs. And my coach wouldn't let me do anything like that. But nowadays, kids are allowed to try shit, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, you're allowed to when it goes in. It looks good.
So when you were skating in, you just thought you were like, it's gonna go in. Like I'm not gonna look like a donkey on TV.
Which, if you watch the video, like what happened, the reason why the penalty shot, because we had like a partial breakaway and the guy gets hauled down, the net comes off. There was like a 5-minute delay, so I'm waiting.
Oh, and then you start thinking, oh, that's no fun.
Yeah, so I go to the bench and like I speak to Jono, Mark Thomas, Weaver, and I'm like, I'm gonna do it because they knew what's coming. Like, I'm gonna do it. Fuck it, I'm gonna do it. And like Jono was like, yeah, do you know what? Like, because they see it every time in practice, and like they know what's coming. Like,
and it's not like you screw up where it doesn't look like you know what you're doing and you can execute it. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, like I feel more comfortable doing that than I would going down and going like low blocker. Like honestly, I know it's crazy, but I've practiced it so many times. I could whatever. So you know, there's a couple of guys chirping like, "Oh, don't toe pick," and and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, luckily it went in. And you know, and it's funny though. Like even like our coach's son who's here, he practices with us. He's like, "Yeah, I used to watch that, man. That's crazy. Show me how to do it." Like that's what. It's kind of surreal, but that's what people know me as. Oh, you're the guy that took the penalty shot.
No, like it was like, so when I put on there the picture on Instagram or whatever of you with the puck between your legs going top corner, and I just said I want to talk about the nuts this would take. Chris Blight wrote to me and he said I was on the bench for that. Yeah, and he didn't know it was coming, and he just said it was shocking.
Blighter. Yeah, it was wild. You know what the most frustrating bit was is that was like the big game. Like we had to beat Japan.
And it wasn't a shootout, it was a tie game and late in the third period, right?
Yeah, so it was, yeah, I think it was a tie game. We were up by one. So I scored 2 goals that game. We won like 3-2 or something like that. It was pretty nuts. But we went into the last game and we had to beat Lithuania or get a tie to get promoted. And the goalie for Lithuania was in like San Jose's system. I forget his name, but he was unbelievable. We had like 50, 60 shots and he just stood on his head and we lost like 1-0 or 2-0 or something to Lithuania. So we didn't get promoted.
That was that tournament then. That's right. Because you guys lost when I was doing my MBA. You finished second.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
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 Then you guys got her done 2 years in a row, though, and went from that division right to the top, eh?
Yeah, I mean, like with GB, well, you've been over here, you've played here. Like all the boys, we're all tight, and like guys like Blight are the imports that have played for the national team. Is it doesn't matter how good you are, it matters like do you fit in, because we are a tight knit group. Batchy, Bouncy, the boys. Like we're very,
Mizey, all of them. You guys.
yeah, you know the guys. So like we're a tight group, and that's a major part of our success. I know it's cliche, but it's the truth. Like,
Well, I know it. That's how teams win, is when you're brothers and like you
yeah,
really do love each other. And I've talked about it with Batchy, like, or whoever, Jono is like, well, you guys are like brothers and you guys love each other, and you can tell you do. Like when you guys play against each other, you want to beat each other, you compete, but you also are cheering for each other.
yeah, 100%. Like you always look out around the league, like what Brits are doing well, and
Vacation day, Thresher, Belgian whip beer.
but it's the truth, and it shows like the game against France when we came back from 3 goals down in the third period. That's just compete and never give up attitude, right? Like same against Hungary. In Hungary, we score with 15 seconds left. Like you've always played on those teams where you think you're tight knit and you think you've got a good group, but like that is just something that you've never seen before. Like in that dressing room, like we never say die. It's special. Going back to the original question, back-to-back gold medals. We went to Hungary, and we were just going to be the whipping boys. Like apparently,
Hungary.
oh, easy, buddy, eh?
How do you say it? Hungary.
Okay, you're gonna give me English lessons, Jesus.
No, you as Hungary. Sorry. I know it's early over there in the UK. Sorry, you just got out of bed, eh?
Don't. Yeah.
I've been up for an hour and a half here, and it's 7:30, man, waiting for you.
No, we were just bonding. We were doing some team bonding.
I know, and I support that. I'd never get upset for the Cardiff Devils team bonding. No, that I think it's awesome what you guys have done, and like I've said before, I think they should make a movie out of it. But so when you guys play the big boys now, would you pull that move off against Canada if given the opportunity, or do you think they'd see it coming now?
Well, do you think we'd get a breakaway against Canada? We were in our D zone the last time we played them for like 55 minutes. It was... do you know what? Like the first year when we were in Slovakia, like we were way out of our depth, and we got spanked every game pretty much. The first game against Germany was good. It was we got a lot of respect, but we hung on there, and we obviously against France. But I think last year we showed that. The 1 year of adjustment and being at that level, like we were in pretty much a lot of the games. I remember after the Sweden game last year, we came in the dressing room, we were disappointed. We just lost to Sweden, like because we were in the game. We lost to Denmark in overtime with 24 seconds left. They had a power play, and the Sweden game we lost. We scored first, and we had a great game, and all the boys were pissed off that we just lost to Sweden. 20 minutes after the game, everyone's still in the half of the equipment, and we just start laughing like we're pissed off. We just lost to Sweden.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Once you get up to those levels, though, isn't it interesting how it raises your play? Like you can play as good as the people you're around, and it's interesting. Like for a guy like you, I think you could play in pretty well any league, but it's getting the opportunity, and then when you get to those leagues, getting the ice time, right?
It is. I'm a big believer in you're a product of your environment, and I think we've all played at a decent level. We're all good enough players. I think if you put anyone in NHL or KHL, if you give that person a month, you adjust to your surroundings, your play gets quicker. Like when we play CHL, like yeah, we got whipped by Mannheim there, but you know, Lausanne, you adjust, right? You
Yeah.
adjust to the speed, you adjust to everything. And you know, the World Championships, I mean, a big success was Kirky. I mean, Jesus Christ, he led the tournament in points. Like that's absolutely wild. You know, as a British kid, like for
Yeah. And hey, seriously, you got to get me in with these young punks, eh?
well,
Tell
you
them to
know,
get on the pod here with me, okay?
I will grease the wheels a little bit.
Yeah, you
Maybe
you
I'll
you let
show
them know
them.
I'm a nice guy. I'll wait all morning for guys in the UK to wake up.
You know, like, well, he's your time zone now. He's a big wheel. He's at
That's
rookie.
yeah.
He's playing the rookie tournament right now, but he hadn't signed in Phoenix,
Well, and
and
he's
because
got some traction behind him now. I see what like Arizona's
oh
putting out tweets like
yeah,
remember
man,
this name. I
yeah.
like he like that they believe in him now. He's got some traction after that world championships. And once a team believes in you, like you can go places, right?
Well, you've got the British hockey community, which is tight right behind him, just egging him on.
Oh
But I
yeah.
mean, he wasn't signed before that tournament, and I've known Kirky since he was 16 when he first came to Sheffield, and he was just a kid in the cage, like you know. And then he get better and better, and then his
And you
draft year,
adjust, right? To the
yeah, his draft year to the OHL. You know, he had all these scouts over his NHL. All this was like, and every time he just provided, and he got better and better. All these scouts were coming over, like having meetings with him before a game. And every game he was scoring goals. Like the pressure just doesn't bother him. It
yeah,
was
some kids NHL
unbelievable.
teams would come over and start interviewing you and talking to you. And I know like when that happened to me in college, I kind of almost shut down. I wasn't prepared for it. I wasn't ready for it. And then
Yeah, and
I
he
wouldn't play good
showed.
that night because I'm like,
Yeah.
where are they sitting? Are they watching me right now? Are they
Mhm.
looking at me sitting on the bench? And I couldn't even focus on what I was doing.
And this is the thing, like he rose like every game he'd score, every game. And you know, obviously he went to Peterborough, and you know, two of his line mates are in the NHL now, and he wasn't. And I think that really bugged him. And he with COVID, you know, he was going to play his overage year, which was going to be like his breakout year, and that screwed him. So basically, from what I know, is that he wasn't signed in Arizona, and he went to the World Championships. And if he didn't do what he did at the World Championships,
He may not have
Arizona,
even got a contract.
100% that wouldn't have happened. 100%. And you know, he put it in perspective, like we're a low end team, and he led the tournament in goals,
Yeah.
in points, and we played way less games than everyone else. You know, because we
Way
were getting
less
knocked
games
out.
and like you're gonna get less power plays because your team never really has the puck compared to the other
No,
teams, right? Like where
exactly.
yeah, like that's incredible he did that. And yeah, like I don't know, it's weird for me because like I'm always rooting for your team because I know all the guys and like
Yeah, yeah,
I know you guys better than I know the guys on Team Canada, right? So
yeah.
no, seeing a young Brit do that and where he's at now, it's very exciting for I guess the future of British hockey. Eh?
No, it's massive, man. It's awesome, and I'm so happy for him. I speak to him all the time. I message him, and but you know what? The biggest thing, he's a humble guy. Like during COVID, he worked as a Domino's delivery driver.
Do you know what else is funny that I wasn't? I just thought of this now though. Is like that's awesome. He did that in the World Championships on the biggest stage. But if it wasn't for you old fellas on the team GB, he's not in Pool A doing that against the big dogs. He's in Pool B or B1 or whatever it's called, and he could have scored all the goals he wants. It's not gonna be what it's not gonna mean what it did, right?
No, and you know, he says that too. Like you know, he's very humble, and he's a good guy. Like you know,
Domino's delivery guy now
honestly,
to Arizona, eh?
honestly, honestly, it's hilarious. But I tell you what, the next guy that's going to be just like Kirky's is Waller, the guy we've got in Cardiff. He is having a time right now.
Is that
Jesus
right?
Christ, he is unbelievable. He might be the best skater I've ever seen. Like he's like a water bug. It's unbelievable.
How old's he?
He's a little bit. I think he's 21, 22, but
They
he's
can be really fast at that age, the little
man, he is
punks.
unbelievable. He is something else, and he's going to have a breakout year. He's going to be guaranteed he'll be on the national team, and he is going to be, you know, right up there with a standout. I mean, you know what it's like this day and age. You've got to be able to skate, My legs are going 100 miles an hour, but I'm still not moving. He makes it look so easy.
Well, and it's every year you get older, it seems like that they just seem to get faster, but maybe they're
Don't
not.
remind me.
No, it's yeah, no. The other thing, I guess this is just shooting the shit episode because we're not getting into every season and all
Is that
that.
going to be the title?
But you played in Morzine, France, where our ski trip was. You played there for a full year, eh? Did you do some skiing?
Yeah, so that was part of the deal. Like when you sign your contract, that's in negotiations. You get a free ski pass and free ski equipment.
Yeah.
So, at the beginning of the ski season, when all the tourists aren't there, it's unbelievable. You go to practice with your ski equipment, the skis in the car, you practice, you go up you guys are like rushing out of there, you go straight up the hill and literally you hit every bar on the way down. You do that about 10, 15 times all day. It's amazing.
It is
And
amazing.
it was a great place, and not the place for a young player that wants to progress his hockey career when you only play 24 games a year and
Right.
you're
No, you're
skiing
right.
and
It's
drinking.
probably better closer to retirement going to a
Yeah,
place like that.
yeah, definitely. But it was fun. I learned a lot, and I signed in Kazakhstan after that. So it was a good learning experience for me. But it was a lot of good times.
Yeah. So that's a question I have then when we get into your real episode someday here when you're on time is
Wow.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We're still making this happen. Look at this. And I'll be on time for my golf tournament. Is how do you end up in Kazakhstan? Like, is it obviously it's an agent because you're not calling the team saying, "Hey, I'd like to come to Kazakhstan."
Yeah, I didn't do what you do and emailed all the teams and said, let me play for it.
Just fought your shit at them. Look at me.
Yeah.
I'm so free. I'm such a free agent. I'll go anywhere.
It was after that year. Paul Thompson took me with the national team, and I wasn't the best. Well, I wouldn't say I'm a good skater now, but I wasn't really in shape.
You're a better
Um,
skater than me than I ever was.
so I don't know. I had too much
I
fun.
never would have thought you'd say you're a bad skater, but go ahead.
Yeah, so like back then I didn't take hockey too serious, and I was there for the good time, and I just got by on skill and wasn't really whatever. And he took me with the national team, and Paul Thompson pulled me into the office after like the warm-up games and said, I'm going to choose you for the national team, but you're not going to play 5-on-5. You're just going to play power play. I was like, all right, sweet, that's awesome. Like that's great. I'll take that.
But that's hard to do.
Yeah, it was when you sit on the bench all game
You
and then you get a power play.
you
Like
got
you
to
gotta,
feel the puck to be able to run the half wall. But go
well,
ahead.
I was running the point, but it's okay.
I've seen you run the half wall though as a D man. That's what really threatened me as a scoring forward is when you came to Sheffield, you were like running the half wall as a D man, right? And you'd have Waugh in front of the net or whatever, and then Forney on the back door. I remember it.
Yeah. No, I was running the top.
But
I
then
was
you'd switch over to the side. I'm like, hey man, you're a D man. Get away from the half wall. Back
yeah,
off.
so
Those are for
similar to Marv,
forwards. Get the
similar
hell
to
off of there.
Marv,
Huh?
similar to Marv, where he'd just go rover and he'd be end up like goal line guy, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No,
So
I
yeah,
remember you standing there and I'm like, get away from there. You're a defenseman. Go back up top.
so he took me, and it was in Ukraine, and I literally didn't play. Like I only played power play, and I did pretty well, got quite a few points, and I went back to Canada to train that summer. I went to live back with my aunt and uncle to train and work out, etc. Because I wanted to take it serious. And one day I just got an email from a guy, Mikhail. His name was Misha. And it was like, I've got a contract in Kazakhstan for you. And I thought it was one of those emails like, can you send me £1,000,000? I'm from,
I'm not doing well. I'm sick. Please.
yeah, it was one of those emails. So I got the emails like, this is the contract X, Y, and Z. Would you be willing to come to Kazakhstan? And I looked at it and I was like, is that a month or a season? So it was crazy. I spoke to my old man. I replied and I was like, yeah, definitely, like 100%. So literally the next week I flew back to the UK. I signed my contract. I went down to London, got my Kazakh visa, and then within 3 weeks, I was in Kazakhstan.
So
And
is that how Richie would have got there too? Is by playing in the World Championships and the Kazakh team seeing you guys play?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
The World Championships opens doors for you fellas, eh?
yeah. I signed. I had a brief stint in the KHL. Didn't actually play there, but I signed the contract for a week. So,
Did you get a buyout to leave?
yeah.
Beautiful. That's all you need.
No,
Smell you
I know,
later.
but that's
But
not the
it
point.
pisses you off when they tell you to leave. I actually knew you had gone there, and I was like, "Yeah, no, he's good enough. He should go there." And then I saw it didn't work out. Did they give you much chance, or is it they just you didn't get much of a chance from the start, or what happened there? What team
So
was it?
it was Astana. That's why I went to Kazakhstan, was to try and obviously getting that offer. But I watched a lot of the KHL, and that was the route that I wanted to take, is try and go KHL route. And obviously in the Kazakh league did well, and it just
Plus
never really,
57's okay.
yeah, just a little bit. And it
Plus
just never,
57. I've never even heard of that. That doesn't even make sense, but go ahead.
we had a good team.
Yeah, then you'd
Um,
have to.
yeah, just never got a sniff. And then it was after the Hungary tournament where we won gold. I knew Kazakhstan were in the tournament, and I knew a few of the boys. And yeah, говорим на мало по-русски, like speak Russian, and
You can speak Russian?
yeah, серьезно. Yeah, I taught
Holy
myself.
cow, we haven't had a Russian speaker on yet.
Yeah,
That's
well,
cool.
when you go to a country, right, like you got to show the respect of trying to learn. So I've taught myself Russian. I can't read or write, but I can speak it. So
Well, that's good. Well done, man. So how
I
long
got a
did
lot
it
of.
take you to learn enough to do that?
I used to have a book that I just every day I'd write down like a phrase or like letters. I'd write down numbers, just like little things like what time's the bus, what time are we eating, like things like that. And you get a lot of respect that way. And they're very traditional in Kazakhstan. Like, so to see me making an effort, it went a long way. And
Sure.
yeah, so I knew a lot of the guys on the team, well, a few of the guys on the Kazakh team. And I had a good tournament. We won gold, and they were like, "Do you want to come back to Kazakhstan? Come and play for a Stanner." I was like, "Fucking right, I will." Like
Yeah.
100%. So I got a KHL agent, got the deal done, and
And
I
this
mean,
was weren't you in Sheffield when this happened?
yeah. So I was in Sheffield, and the agent that I had was it was pretty funny because he was like, "Right, there's an offer on the table of like 200 grand, but I think we can push it more. Like, I want to push it for like 250, 300." I was like, "Go fuck yourself. You snap that 200 off, and we're gonna sign that right now." So it was ridiculous. I was like, "Yep, I'll take that." And then because Kazakhstan, Astana is like all interlinked. So like the national team coach was the Astana coach, and that's how it works. Like, that's their hub. And because they didn't get promoted, the GM, the manager, everyone, the coach, all got fired. So I signed my contract. A week later, they all get fired. The new
And then
management.
the new people are like, "Why we
Yeah,
signed this guy?"
yeah,
Yeah,
we signed
yeah,
the coach. Yeah.
yeah.
But the worst bit is like my agent was like, "Okay, well, you're gonna have to buy him out regardless. Like, why don't you just bring him to camp and have a look at him?" And they were like, "Nope, we don't want him here." Like, so I was
And
like,
if they have the money to just say see
yeah.
you later, then that's what they do, right? And they'll bring in their own guys.
Yeah, so that's what happened, and the biggest thing is like obviously I wanted to go and play in that league. Like,
And
it's
you
I
wanted
love
the
it.
opportunity. You worked all the
Yeah,
way up to get there. And like what I saw you do in the Kazakh league, man, you must have really been playing because that team I played, whatever you said their name was,
baby
uh,
is. Yeah.
I forget. I thought it started with a T or a C or I don't know, but they were good. Like those guys were really skilled and they didn't really enjoy hockey. They didn't look like they were having fun, but like they were really good at hockey.
Yeah, it was good. I had a blast, and that's what changed my career around, was going to Kazakhstan.
So why did you leave there to go to Sheffield? I saw you're in your like third or fourth year there, and you're on. Hold on, I had it written down here when I had full episode notes. Was you were in Arlan Cockshitow, and you leave to go to Sheffield after you got like a point a game after 13 games, and you were plus 57 the year before. So why do you leave?
Yeah, so I was like over a point a game, the first like 12, 13 games. But the coach that we had was a new coach, and he hated the imports. Like, we had
Ah, they're
Yannick
fun.
Renault. we did really well over there. We knew the league. Like we're very, we're very accustomed, and he just hated playing us. I got over a point a game with not playing, like played 15, 20 minutes a game. Like, and usually I'm playing 25, 30. He was fucking us. Like he just hated us. So like I spoke out because I'm that person. I'm like, what's wrong, man? Like we want the team to win. It's not like about us. Like we want to succeed. Why
Yeah.
the fuck are you not playing us?
Yeah.
And he
And
didn't
he
like
just
it.
doesn't like you.
Yeah, he just didn't like the imports, and that's fair enough. And
Yeah.
so he
Yeah.
convinced the management to fire me, and it's like,
Buyout? You got fired?
yeah, I got fired.
Buyout again?
Yeah, yeah.
I never
So
got any of those. I heard of them.
so yeah, so the president of the club sent a car to come and pick me up that night and invited me to a meal that his family was having, because it's very traditional.
You got
Like,
fired after you were plus 57 the year before, and you have a point a game.
Yeah, honestly, I had over a point a game as a D-man and still got fired. He invited me to a meal, and the guy was crying. He's like, Ben, I don't want you to leave, but I have to. I was like, well, what the fuck, man?
Who's
Like,
the boss here? Who's the boss?
honestly, yeah. So long story short, I come back to Sheffield for just injury cover. They had some injuries. I nearly went to Riga because it was the year that they had in the KHL. They had no money, and like they needed people to play for them, and I was going to go there for free and not take any money and go and play for them, and it just never worked out. So I went to Sheffield for injury cover, and 4 years in Kazakhstan, it takes its toll on a person. Okay, so I went back to Sheffield where it is English speaking. I'm with my friends, and I was like, you know what, this is awesome. And
Hockey's fun again. You're allowed to smile at practice.
yeah, you're allowed to go out for beers. You don't get breathalyzed every morning, and it's so yeah, it was good, and ended up signing and staying in Sheffield and buying a house, and
Yeah, no, and you did very well there. I was impressed with you. But I don't know what else we got here for this random episode. Is what else do you want to talk about? Where are you in Cardiff though? Like, so you have the place in Sheffield. Are you in Cardiff Bay? Are you in my old stomping grounds? Or are you in Penarth?
No, I wish I was in Penarth. Jesus.
I know there's some ritzy folks out there. I was a Cardiff Bay guy. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. That place is incredible.
No, that's where the higher up live, like Franny and Richie, and they live in Penarth. But no, I mean, Todd and Katrina, they said like this year, because of COVID, like it's been absolutely a nightmare to get apartments. So half of the guys are down the bay, and then half of the guys are right downtown.
Downtown?
Yeah.
You're in downtown?
Maybe.
How's the parking down there? Do you have a spot?
Yeah, it's all underground parking. It's a beautiful place. So it's good. There's like 7 of us in this building, and then a couple guys are in the building next door. So it's good.
Wow, he's 7 guys in the same building downtown.
Yes.
That's how you sleep through podcasts.
Right. Do you want to mention it anymore?
No, I'm just having fun. Hey,
listen, you don't want to get the same all the time. Like
exactly. I know. I want someone to come in and go between the legs, top corner. That's what I want.
Exactly.
If everybody was the same, it'd be no fun.
Exactly my point.
No, I'm just glad you guys are still having fun, and the game hasn't changed that much.
No, the game's changed. I mean, geez, you go into the dressing room in the morning and guys just talk about video games and COD and all this, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like,
video game and what?
COD, Call of Duty. That's all they talk about. They sit there with headsets on, and
Call of Duty, COD. That's
Jesus they all play together. They sit there with the headsets on, and
they're just like my 8-year-old son.
I swear, that's what happens. That's what happens. I say, like, how long do you play? Like, like a couple hours a night. Come on, seriously.
I remember when I went to the coast as a rookie, there were the guys that came out of major junior. Some of them were the foreign guys that, they're getting used to North America, and that's fine. They would get together and play their video games. But us guys from Canada or the US usually would get together and go out for dinner and hang out together. And they would play video games. But like, you saw it going that way, and like I get it with phones and fans and people taking pictures, and then like you can't really get away with anything
It's probably
anymore.
why the games got better, because people aren't out all the time.
Nobody's allowed to have any fun anymore, eh?
Yeah. What I wanted to talk about was that Challenge Cup in Sheffield that year, where it was in Sheffield and you obviously beat us. Do you remember that?
Well, yeah, the Cardiff Devils aren't allowed back to that hotel anymore.
Do you know what? Do you know what all like pissed us off is, if you remember, like the arena was like split in half, and in Sheffield we had all the Sheffield fans behind the bench, and we were looking out to like a sea of red. Like, so every time, like it was, I'm like, why not put the Cardiff fans behind our bench?
So
We
you
were
don't see them the whole
yeah, so you
game.
don't see it. It fucking mind fucked us the whole game. It
It
was
wouldn't. It
ridiculous.
doesn't make sense. And Simsy, if you're listening, I don't know if you're in charge of that stuff, but next time if you host a game, it's what the players see. You got to look
Yeah,
at your fans, not their fans, right? I remember seeing it, and like our owners are up there with hockey helmets on, with red lights on them, and I'm like, wow, these guys are dandies. And you see, like there were, I don't know how many buses showed up of Cardiff fans,
it was
and you're right,
crazy.
they were all in front of us on that one side of the arena, because I remember celebrating with them after we won, and it was all on the far side of the ice.
It was wild. And like, well, we got a little bit of retribution, 2 years ago when we beat Cardiff in Cardiff for the Challenge Cup, but we won't bring that up. I've been told I'm not allowed to mention that anymore.
I don't care because I wasn't there. So
But no, it's fun, man. I'm enjoying it here, and next week we kick off first. Start, we play Guildford at home on Saturday, and then we're in Sheffield on Sunday. So there'll be
you're playing Sheffield when?
on Sunday.
Oh, that you're gonna be all fired up, eh, for that one.
Oh yeah, there'll be some money on the board and some cases of beer waiting for the boys if
Yeah.
we get the win that night.
Gosh darn it. Yeah, I hope the boys can do it for you, because I remember the day I left. I guess it was Bietigheim was the team I was closest with in my pro career. The first time you play them again, you really, really want to beat them.
No, for sure. Like my dad played for Sheffield. I'm a big Sheffield fan, and but you know what? I'm a Devil now, and I love it. I think I was speaking to Jono actually the other day, and I feel like I've got like a new lease of life. I feel like maybe it was a bit mundane and samey.
Invigorated is I think the
Yeah,
word, right?
yeah, definitely. And I feel like there's a fresh breath, and just ready to go. So I'm excited.
Every once in a while you need a change though, man. Like if I look back on my career, the seasons where I got stale, when I got used to like the way it was,
Yeah,
that's when my play slipped. Was
yeah,
like in Bietigheim for a couple of years in the league kind of seemed easy, and then you kind of let yourself go a bit, and then
yeah,
then it's not easy anymore.
yeah, yeah. No,
That's
for
what
sure.
happened to me. I'm not saying it's not easy for you anymore. So
No, no.
where are you on the power play? You up top then? You running an umbrella and you got a one timer on each side, guy in the
Yeah,
middle, guy in front of the net, goes side to side. Yeah. Same
yeah.
same shit.
Yeah, you know my PP. I'm just a meat and potatoes. Like there's no
Yeah,
fancy
right.
dancy. You just put it to the net. And I had Royzy in Sheffield for a while, where he's
That
the
guy was incredible around the net.
best net front guy. Like you just put it to the net and he's finding everything.
What he's screening the goalies, but then he's also turning around and banging it all in. He was actually probably one of the most talented around the net players I ever saw in my career.
Unbelievable. He's still one of my best buddies today. And he's back in Brayhead. He's the assistant coach there.
I should get him on here. That guy, honestly, I want to talk about his net front play.
I've never seen a better net front guy in my life. It was unbelievable. He scored like 30, 40 goals a year just from 6 feet.
And it wasn't even just scoring from there. Like he would find a rebound and he'd be laying on his back and pass it back door for a tap in, right?
Yeah,
like
it was unbelievable. It's the same here. You know what? Like I said, umbrella, I'm at the top. We've got a one-timer. We've got, skilled guys, net front guy, and, our other units, the fancy dancy, cross seam pass, backdoor tapping, where, I always tell my unit, whatever power play I'm on, I'm like, we're not that unit. We are a meat and potatoes. We're going to get it to the net, and we're going to have like 5-6 shots
have a good guy in front of the net and just
Yeah.
get it on net, twisted wristers, and get to the net, banger in. Yeah.
So hopefully we've had some success preseason. We've had a couple nice PP goals.
So how good is the UK league now? Do you guys do the drop back pass on the power plays now? Do you skate it up and drop it all the way back?
Yeah, it's awesome as a D man, lugging it up. You
Oh,
don't have to do anything. You just skate it up, and then as soon as you get pressure, you throw it back to
so
the
you
other
guys
side.
do
And
that, okay? Because
yeah,
that wasn't really a thing yet, but I remember
no,
playing against it in
yeah,
Denmark, and then we did it in Germany a bit, and I was like, this is so easy when they skate up the ice and drop it back, and the
yeah.
guys have no gap and they're just standing still. You can just skate through them.
Do you ever remember like the first time that you did it? It was like, as a killer, you're like, what the hell has just happened? Like my gap, I'm down on the top of the circle. It's
You're
like,
just standing there, and then all of a
yeah,
sudden they're flying at you.
yeah, yeah. No, it's easy. It's nice.
Yeah, no, okay. Well, just curious. I don't know where the game's changed. I haven't watched much lately.
You're not streaming?
Um,
You're not logging in and streaming or what?
I've been a little bit busy lately. I got quite a bit going on, but
Oh,
today's off. Today's
is
an
a
off
two
day.
is a 2% owner of the Cardiff Devils. You should be.
2.3 I was supposed to be, but I'm zero actually.
Oh, I've heard. I've
Yeah,
heard.
yeah, horse shit. Well, you know what? I think this has been another episode, right? Because we're gonna do the full gig here next time, and we'll get into a couple more beers. But I gotta go say goodbye to the kids before school, and then meet old Dino for 9 a.m. to head to Elmira for the golf tournament.
Almira.
Yeah.
Jeez. Bringing back the old towns now.
Well, this is Ontario. This is Canada, not the USA of the East Coast. Yeah, but anyways, I'm still curious about a lot of your career, like when you played in the OHL, what kind of chance you got, and like all the other stuff. Like you played for Coventry, you played for all these other teams we never touched on. Like I'm curious how you guys do against Sheffield this week.
Yeah, we'll have to have a catch up. But again, it's just changing up for the listeners, just an hour episode, keep it short and sweet.
That's right. They have been getting a little long, folks. I'm sorry. I get a little bit too carried away, and I just like doing this so much.
And you start rambling on. You get in one. I listen, man. You get in one. It goes one thing to another. So
yeah, well, you just fall into the pocket with a guy, and then you just feel like doing it longer. And it's kind of like now. I could go another hour right now, but I got shit to do.
No, I apologize.
Oh, you're good. No, seriously though, you got up.
Team bonding.
I when I looked at my phone, and like I remember those days, because then I looked at the tweeter there, and I was like, okay, so they played last night. Oh, they played in Manchester last night. Oh, those are long nights. And then I looked at the phone, and I'm like, I remember those nights when you get back to the rink and you got to unpack your gear, and it's like 2, 3, 4 in the morning, and you're like, Jesus, I just want to go to sleep. And then, it happens, especially if you can get carried away on the bus.
Yeah, may have happened.
Well, I'm never gonna judge someone for having fun being a hockey player because you're still doing it.
No, we'll definitely catch up again, and obviously we can recap on this weekend and go into more of the old Bowmanville days. And
that's right. Yeah, you were also a Mississauga Ice Dog and a Windsor Spitfire.
I was there for the free equipment and the status maybe more than anything, but hey.
Okay, well, I better get moving on with my day now. Thank you for coming on, and this has been another episode of Two Ales and Hockey Tales with Benny and Wally.